So I'm going to try to get through this video without using the incorrect abbreviation for this guy's name. Today we're talking about Detroit Red Wings prospect Michael Brandsegg-Nygård, or you can say MBN. Yeah, for the past year I was accidentally calling this guy MSB because it rhymes with ASP, Axel Sandin Pellikka, and also my brain kind of had that association. Okay, MSB. There's an S in his name, and then there's a B, so MSB, and it rhymes with ASP, so it works, but no, it's not MSB, it's MBN. I kind of have the worst brain farts at times. But today, we are diving into Michael Brandsegg-Nygård, Detroit Red Wings' 15th overall pick from the 2024 NHL Entry Draft, and asking a very simple question. What's next? Because Brandsegg-Nygård right now is 19 years old, from Oslo in Norway, 6'1", 207, right-handed winger. He can play on the left or the right, and he is signed by the Detroit Red Wings. He was taken 15th overall in a draft that could have seen him go a little bit higher in some people's minds. He was ranked as highly as number 12 by future considerations, and as low as number 17 by both Craig Button and Bob McKenzie. The fact that he went 15th is right in the wheelhouse of where he was supposed to go, and I think a lot of folks would go out there and say that Michael Brandsegg-Nygård was a very reasonable pickup in that spot. The scouting report for Brandsegg-Nygård says this: he's a gamer. Far from just holding his own, Michael Brandsegg-Nygård bullied his opponents most nights. He went into every retrieval seeking out contact and almost always connected. Thunderous hits sent his opponents flying from the puck, and when he couldn't overwhelm them with brute force, technique would take its place in the form of reverse hits, subtle jabs to the puck through contact to keep it from his opponent's stick, or a drive up and through their hands to establish inside positioning. Brandsegg-Nygård is labeled as a physical forward, a sniper, and a two-way forward. Honestly, the way he plays, think of modern-day Marco Kasper with a little bit of a goal-scoring touch. In fact, if you go over onto the Elite Prospects 2024 Draft Guide, it says here on this PDF file that Michael Brandsegg-Nygård has shades of Arturi Lehkonen, maybe with a little better shooting as well. He is a modern power forward with projectable physical tools across the board, the best forechecker in the 2024 draft, who has a direct path to a middle six role in the NHL. He was ranked highly for his motor, his two-way forward capability, his floor, and his power forward ceiling. Brandsegg-Nygård in his draft-eligible year had 18 points in 41 games. Not the best point production, but then again, he was playing in the second pro men's league in Sweden, so the fact that he was able to do that as a junior player was great. He also was a point per game for Team Norway at the World Juniors, a mark that he tried to expand upon a little bit more in the most recent season, but of course, Norway got demoted in the World Juniors, so that's kind of unfortunate. This previous season, though, MSB, I said it! Oh, it's not MSB! I'm an idiot! MBN. Ay. So used to saying ASP for Axel Sandin Pellikka, it just flows off the tongue. But MBN had himself 11 points in 42 games played, with Skellefteå AIK in the SHL, which is really good. That's the top pro men's league in Sweden, and he had himself some pretty good production in the playoffs as well. 6 points in 11 games over there. Not to mention Brandsegg-Nygård's 3 points in 3 games with the Grand Rapids Griffins in the playoffs in the AHL. So he had a very limited cup of coffee with Grand Rapids in the American League, but still was able to string together some offense when the games mattered the most, and still establish himself as one of the top Red Wings prospects. To help us out with where everything has gone for MBN, there you go, we got it. We're going to go over onto some prospect reporting done on The Athletic as well as Dobber Prospects. This is a comment made by RW Hockey 13 a few days ago on one of these Detroit Red Wings daily general discussion threads. It's some commentary made about Brandsegg-Nygård from the folks over on The Athletic. They said this: Michael Brandsegg-Nygård got his first taste of the AHL late last season and scored a pair of goals in 3 playoff games. He's got a rocket of a shot, is physically advanced for his age, he'll turn 20 in October, and he is not afraid to throw his weight around. For all those reasons, Michael Brandsegg-Nygård projects to have serious versatility in an NHL lineup. He can win pucks down low, use his size around the net, or blast pucks from distance. That kind of player can fit anywhere in a top 9, whether serving as a big-bodied complement to skilled players in a top 6, or as a menacing matchup forward who can still score 20 goals on a third line. I lean more towards the former long-term, but the versatility to do either is part of the appeal. As for when he would arrive, I think he'll benefit from a year in Grand Rapids, in a league that should suit his game well, and then be one of the more interesting potential roster challenges a year from now. Either way, man, 20 goals as third liner who plays a physical, matchup, menacing type of style, I think that's actually really, really nice. You're not going to get the most skill out of Michael Brandsegg-Nygård, but if you play him with other skilled players, there could be some really good versatility there. He can be the net front guy. He can be the tap-in guy. We saw Zach Hyman get 50 goals by essentially having that similar type of role with McDavid and Draisaitl a few years ago. Not to say that Brandsegg-Nygård is going to be able to reach those kinds of highs, but the fact that he'll be capable of playing that sort of a style down the line bodes very well into giving Red Wings fans something to be excited for. You also have yourselves the Dobber Prospects Report, as was written out here by Dobber themselves. Okay, they don't have a writer, but the article went out there and talked about how Michael Brandsegg-Nygård was arguably the most NHL-ready player of the draft class in 2024, except for Macklin Celebrini, embodied the essence of a Swiss Army knife forward who can immediately jump in and impact your PK. His defensive instincts are amongst the highest in the draft class, combined with his intensity and proactive efforts off the puck. Michael Brandsegg-Nygård also poses a threat in nearly every facet of the game. He took the label of defensive forward rather personally, setting a new record for points by a draft-eligible player in the Allsvenskan playoffs with 10 points in 12 games in his draft-eligible year. His shot is powerful and swiftly released, his nose for the net is keen, and he fluidly creates opportunities on the rush. He uses his robust stride and powerful puck protection skills to drive those challenging areas. His adaptability and puck confidence are impressive, displaying all the hallmarks of an invaluable support forechecker on any line. He can almost immediately boost an NHL roster, and his versatility should prove to be very exciting for NHL franchises, as he's capable of adapting seamlessly through any line or any situation his team may need him in. This was written by Seth Ditchfield a year ago. This year, Dobber went out there and said this, that MBN didn't put up massive numbers when he played against men in the SHL, but he was a force for Norway at the Olympics, playing alongside a Matt Zuccarello. He's a tenacious forechecker, likes to throw the body, even though he's not overly big, and he is close to NHL ready. He'll get a long look in camp this fall. MBN has potential for second-line offense alongside PIM per game potential as well as hits. He's got into 2 games in the AHL after his SHL season, but was given limited minutes on a depth line as he had to get familiar with the coaching and the team. So I guess, from a fantasy hockey perspective, you could be looking at this dude as a potential penalty minute and hit guy, but longer term, I mean, you're going to want to focus on the offense. Really, thinking about what the Red Wings have in their pipeline, with Marco Kasper developing the way he has, with MBN having this sort of progression too, and with Carter Bear also chilling in the ranks, if you assume all of these guys end up on the same line at some point in the future, Brandsegg-Nygård, Kasper, and Bear will be a total nightmare line of every type of skill imaginable tossed into an NHL ice rink. The scoring, the offensive potential, the tenacity, the physicality, all of these guys could do it together, and that just sounds like such a combo from hell for every other team that faces off against the Detroit Red Wings. And they're still going to have to deal with Larkin and Raymond on the top line scoring points too. So Brandsegg-Nygård, alongside of Kasper and Bear, I think is a total dream line for Red Wings fans to look forward to in the next little while, but for Michael Brandsegg-Nygård and his projection so far, he showed off pretty well. Also, look at that, 2 goals in 3 games at the Olympic Game qualifiers for Norway. He's a really interesting prospect and one that Red Wings fans should be keeping their eyes on heading into camp this upcoming season. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Michael Brandsegg-Nygård, and where is he going to go in his development this year? I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.